the award-winning Masters of the Midday.
Us.
We are the best because we bring you the best content, laughter, conversation, and the best guests. And we are bringing in one of the greatest guests in Denver Bronco football history. He's a two-time Super Bowl champion. He's the man who gave me my first opportunity in the NFL. He's your favorite Broncos' favorite coach. Please welcome the man being inducted into the Ring of Fame this Sunday, Mr. Mike Shanahan.
Welcome to the show, Coach.
What's up, Coach?
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Scott. How are you?
Hey,
Great
Coach.
to have you. Great to have you. Good to have you. How's it feel to know that you're going into the Ring of Fame this Sunday at Mile High?
The thing that makes it really so special is I've been around the majority of the guys that are in the Ring of Fame, and to have the opportunity to coach those guys, you first of all, you know why you're in it because of those guys and the coaches you were with as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend. We'll get a chance to see a lot of people I haven't seen for a long time, and so it's a very special day.
Hey, Coach, you look at this. You mentioned all the different guys. When this was announced, have a lot of the old players and everybody checked in with you?
Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people. In fact, I'm trying to have the majority of the guys that over the 21 years that I was here, both as an assistant and a head coach, that we're inviting as many people as possible over to the house and get a chance to spend a little quality time with them on Saturday. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'll be there, Coach. It's going to be a good time.
Coach Josh Dover, congratulations, man, and on the Ring of Fame and what should be the Pro Football Hall of Fame coming sooner rather than later. Coach, we talk about it all the time, and Scott's brought it up several times. What you did for the league and the way offenses are ran, do you watch games on Sunday? And I'm sure you're watching your son Kyle up there in San Fran, but do you watch games and go, oh, there's a little bit of me. Oh, there's a little bit of me too right there.
Well, thank you, Josh. But to be honest with you, with the Zoom now and your ability to watch meetings, especially with your son being in the league and a number of other coaches being in the league, it's fun for me to keep abreast on what goes on the football field. But it's actually quite enjoyable to watch people that you've been with to have a little success in the coaching area.
Coach, talking about your son, he became a head coach. You're a consultant to many head coaches, I'm sure coaches would say. But what were some things you told your son that are important in being a head coach when he got his first shot in San Francisco?
Well, to be honest with you, you kind of go through that, journey as an assistant coach. And, I went through, 10 years of an assistant at the collegiate level with 5 different programs. And all of a sudden I get 10 years as an assistant coach at the pro level and being 7 with Denver and 3 with San Francisco. So when you do get your opportunity, you feel like you're ready, especially because you've been around so many great coaches and so many great players. But it definitely is a learning experience. And I think for Kyle it was the same way. He went into college with Carl Durrell his first year at UCLA. Then he got a chance to be with John Gruden over for a couple of years over at Tampa. Then he went with Gary and went through the process that all coaches go through. And it's it is a journey, and it's a lot of learning experience that go with it. But when you do get your call, you're hoping that you're ready for it because you've studied the game and you got a good feel for it.
Hey, Coach, when you watch, and obviously you had, great quarterbacks that you got to help coach. I think you were there with Steve Young. I'm not sure if you got Montana or not, but John Elway, obviously, and you brought RG3 into the league and so on and so forth. But the way the quarterbacks have evolved and these phenomenal athletes that are able to still use their athleticism but still be quarterbacks, does it ever surprise you or astound you how good some of these guys are that are playing right now?
Well, first of all, the game always changes, so you want to keep on top of it if you're an assistant coach, coordinator, head coach. It really doesn't matter because the game does change. But it is amazing how good these quarterbacks are getting. And I think it has a lot to do with the type of leagues these guys are in when they're younger, how much they throw the football, and what a great feeling for the game they do have. But you're right. These guys seem to get more incredible each year.
Coach Shanahan, our guest, Ring of Fame, Coach Shanahan. Broncos fans can get down there to Empower Field.
Soon to be Hall of Fame, by the way.
Should be Hall of Fame.
Yes.
At Empower Field at 5:40.
after we drafted you, I remember that 2008. I'm not even sure if you gave up a sack that year. I know Jay Cutler had a record for over 600 throwing attempts, but you came in and did the job for me right away. Anyway,
Yeah, man, you gave me Hey, man, I followed the way. You had Coach Rick Dennison, ripping me down as a rookie, but building me up to be one of the best. I mean, we had Casey Wigman. Remember, you got the old salty vet, and Ben Hamilton and Ryan Clady. I mean, you put great offensive lines together. What was important to you when you picked offensive linemen that you wanted on your team?
Well, number one, excuse me one second. I got a dog that just jumped out. Can you bring him in? I'm supposed to be babysitting my dog, and I can't even do that. So anyway, I see it outside when I'm on the phone. But anyway, a guy like Casey Wigman, you bring a guy like Casey, who's a Pro Bowl player, the first year back in 2008, and you got a veteran player like him. And once you got an offensive lineman, you kind of knew very quickly what their mindset was, how tough they were, what type of team you had a chance to be. And we had a special group that year.
Yeah.
People forget, I think we were like maybe second in total offense that year, and we had lost a lot of running backs, a lot of linebackers, but
we lost 6. Remember that? We lost 6 at one point. Peyton Hillis had to be the running back.
I remember that, and I actually remember we averaged 4.8 yards a carry, losing 6 of those running backs, and that doesn't happen very often unless you got an incredible group of players, and especially offensive linemen.
Coach, I want to ask you, and I've heard the stories from Ryan and, of course, Scott working with you as the broadcaster. For what you did and then how you kind of see it evolving, I hear so many great stories about your player-coach relationship. When you're doing that or even like building a game plan, how much do you cater to what the players can do well and what you want to do?
Well, number one, I think you have to have an offensive philosophy, which you believe, with a ratio of running the ball and passing the ball. What teams actually win Super Bowls, who plays their best football during the playoffs. You've got to have a running game because these defenses are so good. So even if you want to throw the ball all the time, you have a little off day, it's really hard to beat those best defense. So you have to have a philosophy going in, and you got to stay with it.
Speaking of that philosophy, that you're one of a handful of coaches that have won back-to-back Super Bowls. You're also just a handful of coaches that have coached 2,000-yard running backs, and I think the only one that had a 2,000-yard running back that won a Super Bowl. Talk about that year with Terrell Davis. When you knew, a low-round draft pick, when you knew he had something special, and just what are some of your thoughts on that season? He just ran through the league that year.
Well, the one thing about running backs and safeties that I found out through the years, it's really hard to tell how good that running back is or how good that safety is until you actually start playing live football games. And you can practice all day, but can a guy make a guy miss? Will the guy protect? Just like safeties, whether they support the run, are they physical? Can they cover? And so when I took a look at the running backs, a guy like Terrell Davis, we went overseas and we played in Japan, I believe it was, and Terrell Davis made one great tackle on a kickoff. We said, holy cow, if a guy can make that type of play on special teams, what is he going to do once he gets his opportunity to run the football? And it didn't take long for him to prove to us that he was a football player. And once you're drafted or once you become a free agent, coaches really don't care where you were drafted. They want to see if you can play. And if you can't, you're going to get eliminated from that position very quickly. And Terrell proved to us that not only was he a great team player, but he played his best in big-time games, and his average in the supporting cast was very good as well.
Coach, you were one of the best coaches I had in treating men as men. Gary Kubiak, no doubt, learned from you. He was another one. What was the decision for you to be so trusting of your players, to treat players and their time away from the facility with respect?
Well, I just felt when people treated me with respect, if I knew people were real and you weren't getting any BS, that I gravitated to those type of people. So if I had a coach that was really kind of just yelling to yell, or a person that was kind of more of a showboat than he was a teacher, I kind of lost respect very quickly. So I thought if you could at least have a relationship with players where they trusted you, they knew you were real, then you had a chance for that relationship to grow.
Coach, last one I got for you. I'm really grateful for your time, Coach Mike Shanahan, with us. Going into the Ring of Fame this weekend, Coach, obviously a big deal, and Scott's absolutely right. That should be the Pro Football Hall of Fame sooner than later. It's obviously a huge honor, but mean a little bit more that you get to be inducted while the Broncos are taking on the Raiders?
Oh, without a question. That was a must. Yeah, I said, hey, that my kids are able to come in. Kyle's got a bye week. My daughter's able to come in with her kids, so it'll be a special weekend for us.
Well,
I don't think
that's
they'll have
cool.
them ready. They'll be ready to play, so I'm looking forward to the game as well.
Hey, we're going to have one of the biggest characters in the history of the Broncos is going to come on the show here a little bit and talk about you as well in Shannon Sharp, who's now blowing up. Now, I mean, it's probably not a surprise to you that he's a star in the media now, but just what are some of your recollections coaching Shannon?
Well, you said it best. In fact, he was we were having warm-ups one day, and Shannon calls me over. And I said, "What's up, Shannon?" He said, "Mike, I want you to know something." He said, "What?" "I am a scratch talker." I said, "What?" He said, "You are a scratch golfer." Well, I'm a scratch talker. He said, "Nobody can out-talk me." And I tell you, it didn't take long. I knew exactly what he was talking about. Shannon was one of those guys that I actually told in the off season. He said, "Mike," he said, "I would like to work out at home if I could in Atlanta." I said, "Why?" He said, I've got my off-season program. It's just so much more, stringent than, even though we've got a good off-season program. He said, "I want to take it to the next level." And he's the only person I ever told. I said, "Shannon, do me a favor, just keep it between you and me, because I don't want you to ruin our off-season program. You go home and you come back in shape because I trust you, but just keep it between you and me, because I don't want our strength coach putting up with you and having to change every part of his off-season program, or it'll drive him crazy." But he was such a worker, and he meant so much to this organization that he's still one of the best guys to talk to today.
Speaking of a scratch talker, we all remember that Monday night football game with the late great Derek Thomas, and I'll just leave it at that.
Oh my God, that was so funny. He calls me over and he says, "Mike, you told me when I got the guys set up, to let you know." I said, "Well, this drive we need it." And it didn't take but the whole drive to have 3 personal fouls and get kicked out of the game. So that was pretty impressive. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Coach, thank you so much for your time. But before we go, we just want to give you a moment. Is there anything you'd like to say to the Broncos fans in Broncos country?
The one thing that was really interesting when I first came here, and like I told you, I was at collegiate ball for 10 years. They said one thing you're going to miss when you go to the NFL as a fan. So one thing about college, the fans are really into it. At pro football, it's not the same. Well, I came to Denver. It didn't take me long to know, man, these fans are actually better than the college fans, because they were so in tune to the Broncos and what we were doing. So that was a pleasant surprise, but one of the big reasons why we've been in 8 Super Bowls and been able to win 3. What a fan base we do have.
Well, he is Mike
Well
Shanahan, legendary world champion coach. I'll see you Saturday, Coach.
Congrats,
Congratulations,
Coach.
and thanks for joining
I'm looking
us.
forward. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, tell Peggy, hey, miss you, Coach.
I will. Thanks.